Hello guys, and welcome to another video from the Fett channel. And today I'm just going to be showing you all of the pieces of my armor that I have so far, what they're up to, and then what I'm going to do is from then on I'm going to go into more depth videos of what everything is and what I've done to it. So I guess first we'll start off with what I have on my website right now, what I have most of it updated. And I gotta have a video on it, but I have my helmet right now. Right now, it has been resined. I did not use fiberglass sheet on this, but I just resined it with base resin. I put Bondo on it, and then from there I sanded it. I did put quite a bit of Bondo because at the back there is kind of a divot that I had to get out. So I did put quite a bit of Bondo and had to use a light power grinder on that. But now all I have to do is I have to finish the sanding, make it circular, maybe put another layer of Bondo to get out all the air bubbles and such. It came out fairly good. What you should do is do not use cardstock paper with the Pepicure files. Use the cardboard Pepicure files and work off of that. It's easier to work with. It's less expensive. Cardboard is everywhere, and then resin it from there, and it's easier to work with the file. I had to use 2 different Pepicure files for this, and yeah, and there is a bit of the resin that I overheated and cracked, so I gotta fix that, and there's a lot of sanding, so there's still a lot of work to do. I am kind of in the bondoing phase for some of this stuff, but some of this I'm still building, as you'll see. The other pieces are the chest plates, which one is resin, and then there's the belly plate, I guess you could call it. But a lot of this has hair on it because I have animals. But this one right now, it was resined. I bondoed it. I did kind of cut down past the resin, but that's because I wanted it to be perfect and nice and smooth. So what I have to do is I have to once again cover all those air bubbles, do one last little thin layer of Bondo, perfect it, make sure it's nice and ready for paint. I have one of them bondoed. I have these 2 that I still have to resin. This, I don't know if I'm going to resin or Bondo it because it is a fairly simple piece. These ones came out actually really good. These ones, stuff like this, you have to use Pepicure with unless you find a cardboard file, unless you want to do it custom, stuff like that. Next, we have the shoulder pads. And the shoulder pads came out really good. Now what I did is I took the Pepicure file, and after I got them all done, I put them in a really thin layer of wood glue. I actually did a couple layers of this, and they came out very strong. The good thing about wood glue is it's waterproof. It's a very good bondage. It has very good bondage, and these things I don't even think I have to resin. I think bondoing them from this point would be really good. This one I kind of overdid it, and it kind of came out a little warped, but they both came out fairly good. Once I Bondo them, they should be good. They do have a bit of a square texture to them, so I do have to get that out with the sanding. But those came out really, really good. Then I made the knee pads. The knee pads is when I finally got into doing the custom parts of this, which I did the jetpack, the back plate, and the knee pads. And what I did is I took cardboard pieces and the kind of like an iced tea container. I took the part of the inside layer of that and cut it so I could get this round front shape. These 2 stubs on the side I just made. It's kind of like doing Pepicure but kind of custom. I kind of drew out the thing and made it and kind of pieced them together. That I may take off because I know it's a more detailed piece that goes there. You can actually buy the metal pieces that go there, but I'm still debating that at the moment. And one of them isn't fully resin because I ran out of resin hardener and I have to get that. But they both came out really good. They both fit my legs. I'm going to have more detailed videos on all this stuff and more. You can check out my website, my blogs, all of that. I'm going to have way more. I'm going to have detailed write-ups, detailed pages on my website that I made with Wix. And it's all going to be good. So if you want to check out my website, you can go and check that out. And it has tons of detail on it. So yeah, so these are pretty much cardstock paper with cardboard innards that I kind of put together with not wood glue, hot glue, and then I resin them. And so yeah, that's that. Next I have the gauntlets, which I'll show you one at a time. This is his right gauntlet, and I don't know if they came out oversized, but I can fit. A lot of people make them like skin tight, but I'm thinking when I get the clothing on and I get the gloves, these are gonna fit perfectly, and it's a little big on the back, as you can see, but I think I can get some filler foam in there, some padding. Also, what I forgot to add before I continue with that, on my chest plates, I have the foam flooring, the big puzzle piece mats that I cut up and I put in here to filler. So when I get I think what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna use Velcro to attach it to my armor and stuff. So yeah, and I did that for all of them. Like, this is filled like that, and this is filled, and this is filled. Only some parts. But yeah, the gauntlet came out really good. Once I bond to it, I just have to do kind of imperfection things for all the curves and stuff. And I think this came out really good. I had an incident where the wind blew it over and I have to sand off all this dirt that got on it while it was drying. But there's only little stuff. And then I'm really excited to bond to these, because once these come out really good, you know you're set. Because these two things are probably some of the coolest pieces that I've made. This was really difficult, the left gauntlet. I don't know if this is the episode 5 or 6 gauntlets that I went off of, because I'm pretty sure the two are different. I don't know if it's episode 5 or 6 where the gauntlet has the 2 strand pieces with the kind of bars. I don't know what the piece is called, but instead of the missile and stuff, or instead of the gun on here. And the gun I made came out really good. It's gonna be really hard to sand that when you get Bondo on it, but I'm really excited to make this whole missile really good, and painting is gonna be fun too. This one fits on my arm. It has a bit of a thinner wrist point, but a bit of a bigger one at the back, which I might fill with foam once again. But I am planning just to keep it together and be able to have it slide on with little to none difficulty. So also, if you noticed on my helmet, I had to take off. I have pieces of the antenna here, but I had to take it off because when I was sanding, I kept hitting it and it eventually ripped. So and my antenna wasn't too good anyway, so I'm gonna just make a brand new antenna with a little more detail to it. And we're gonna get to the back plate, which I was just recently working on. The back plate, I use fiberglass matte with the resin, which I need to trim up and put another layer of resin on once I get more resin hardener. And yeah, so I have these to attach to the jetpack, which this I made custom all by myself. So I was just kind of looking at it, and I hope it comes out really good after I bond to it. But the straps go through here attached to the jetpack, and also what I did is I put buckles. So when I have this piece, my neck piece, they can just clip together. So it's just basic buckles from a backpack. I'll have more detail on that later. But they just kind of clip together, and then it will go over your neck like that. And then your jetpack goes on that. But they connect pretty good, and they stay on there. I haven't had any issues with it yet, but I'm going to have to trim all this up. I'm going to have update videos when I get to all that. But this one side of this isn't resin. This is also custom. I did this whole thing custom. And I used cardboard and cardstock for this. Cardboard here, cardboard here. Cardboard is pretty much the outline of it, and then cardstock is all here, which I resined, which actually came out pretty good. And it's a nice hard layer. And now we have the big piece that I actually spent a ton of time on, which is my custom. Oh, this fell off because the other side already fell off. I'm gonna have to. So these two pieces are the end little exhaust, I guess you could call it, exhaust thingies. I'm not gonna have them spin, or at least I don't think. I didn't before, and then they fell off, so I'm unsure. And what I did is I took a drink mix, or the little crystallized mix things, and I took the whole tube, and I had it as like an outline here, and I have to sand all this because this was from. So what I did originally, I know I'm all over the place, but bear with me. What I did originally is I made a really thin version of this and thought it was okay, and then I realized that it needs to be bigger. So I took it, stripped it down to the base back layer, which is this, which I made nice and smooth, and I made it 100% 3D. So I made layers so it matched this one drink mix container. Then I made all this just kind of by looking at what it was, and I made the top from there, And then these are just tubes from a poster, and then